Are you scared of being lonely because you decided to serve Jesus? Then this video is for you. Hi everyone, you're welcome to my channel. It's a girl Olaoluwa and I'm the Midnight Content Creator. Just like every other intending student going to the university after secondary school, I decided that since I had always been living a stereotyped way in my house as a Christian, that I was going to party, I was going to club, I was going to do anything that had to do with social life when I get to the university. But it happened that God had another plan for me. Dating back to the 9th of January 2016, which happened to be my matriculation day, I remember there was this fellowship that came up and told me that okay, they had a particular gathering and it's going to be fun and all of that. Now in every school there are different campus fellowships that do citywide, which is Catch Them Young for those that do not know. So I remember that I joined one of the fellowships, citywide program, and I enjoyed it. There was a lot of fun and there was a lot of games, there were just a lot of things, and then afterwards they welcomed each and every one of us in love, and I decided I was going to join their fellowship. There's some other options, of course, so I decided I was just going to juggle between each and every other fellowship until I find a place where I can call my own home. The other hand, I had my own intention of pursuing my academic career, pursuing my clubbing career and also pursuing my dance career, because I had a career to protect in the dance line at the time. So I just wanted to be a socialite and also balance it up with spirituality. So I remember as freshers then, my department organized something called Freshers Party for us at the time. So I planned to go, even though a particular fellowship had their fellowship meeting that night. So I told myself that after the fellowship meeting I was going to go to the party, which I eventually did. But then I got there, I discovered that there were a lot of smoking and some other things. So I decided that I wasn't going to continue with the party anymore, because at the time I had my allergies, so anything that had to do with smoking and all of that, it wasn't my thing, so I had to leave. The next day in the department, our director of socials came up and he apologized for all the smoking from the previous day and all that. They were going to make it up to us, so they organized another freshers party for us. Yes, 2 legs, I decided that I was still going to go to this second freshers party, which I did. Now there's something called the devil always trying to fuel that bad idea that you have. Me coming to school, just as I already said at the beginning of this video, I just wanted to live a social life and also a spiritual life. My roommates at the time were also party people, so we all decided that since we as freshers, we didn't know the new location, we decided that we were all going to go together, and that was it. We went together to the second freshers party. It wasn't really fun for me, even though there was a fight afterwards, so it wasn't really fun. I didn't really enjoy it. Then I left. Then I remember there was another department that invited me for their freshers party. Another department. This time around, I told myself, and some of my roommates at the time were also in that department, so they encouraged us to go and everything. And then I went. I kind of had fun when I got there. I kind of had fun, but before we left, I remember there was a breakout. 2 guys started fighting over one lady, and then before you know it, wow, don't break butts already. And that was it. We started running. I remember I carried my two shoes, kept them under my armpit, and then I started running. So immediately I got to the hostel, I told myself that party is not for me. Never again will I decide that I was going to go clubbing or I was going to go to party, because I wasn't enjoying it. At least I went for 3 to 4 consecutive parties and I did not enjoy it, to be very honest. Now fast forward to me joining my fellowship. Eventually I joined this same fellowship that had their citywide program on my matriculation day, and I love the fact that there was an atmosphere of God's presence when I got there. I mean, seeing people pray was something that, it wasn't really a culture shock for me, but it was amazing seeing a lot of people, coming together, just raise sounds to God and groan and, speak in tongues and all those things. So, but then when I also entered, there was this side of me that was like, it's not that deep now. It is not that deep. It's okay to pray, but which one is all the shouting, not rolling on the floor? Please don't mind me. That was I guess that was the devil at the time, But then I still take full responsibility. I enjoyed fellowship, and after fellowship, during announcement or so, they called out those that were fresh, the freshers and all of that. On coming out, I just started seeing a lot of shouting. There was so much love. I mean, there was so much love. And it reminds me of what the scripture says about, the heavens rejoicing over one soul that was won. I mean, there was so much love for us that time. And I think 2 fellowship days after then, they were still celebrating us. So it's why shouldn't I stay there? I asked myself, like, why shouldn't I stay there? If it was you, Steph, I'm very sure you too, you will stay there. Anyways, like I said, my roommates were party people. So we were always trying to, do something fun in the hostel, even though there were no parties outside. And they realized that I'd already resolved to not going for any party. Like, I became very, very irritated at parties and clubbings and all of that, because I just didn't like the experience, or what would I tell my parent I was doing, should in case anything that would cost life happens to me. So I was not involved in parties anymore. But then there was always a time in my room then where we'll play games, we'll drink, we'll play games, take alcohol and all those things, which I was joining to. It was not an issue for me, so long as we're not leaving the confinement of the hostel. At one point in the fellowship, I started having very, very cool people to hang around, and they invited me one of the days for something called Inner Kakos. Now, Inner Kakos happened to be a night where there is a gathering of brethren just praying to God and receiving encounters and all those things, just praying to God on the field and all. So I started praying with them, I started going to the field with them, even though when I come back from Inner Kakos, I will still take my drink, because the drink will always be waiting for you in the night. So I remember I finished from Inner Kakos one midnight, and then I came back and one alcohol was waiting for me, a 62% alcohol for that matter. It was waiting for me. And because I was very, very hungry, I went to go and drink it, because I felt, oh, I'm beside my bed. Last, when I finish drinking it, I'll go and sleep. But then that night, it was not even funny at all. I started having issues in my belly. I started having a lot of rumbles, like my stomach was hurting. I was in so much pain. I could literally call it an excruciating pain, to be very honest with you. And last I remember, I called out for help, but I don't now know till tomorrow if I wasn't audible enough. But I remember I called out for help, but no one helped me. No one, absolutely no one. All the people whom we party together, drink together, have fun together, nobody was there to help me. Nobody, trust me, nobody was there were nobody. In fact, at some point I remember there was this lady that was just laughing at me. I was like, what's doing this one? Do you get? So I felt really, really bad that it was people that kept this thing for me, and now look at my behavior, and you're not even like rushing me down to the sick bay or something. Absolutely no one was there for me. Then I muttered words to God, and I told him, I said, if you take me out of this pain, I will stop this lifestyle I've always been dreaming of. I will stop it, and I will not do it again. I will stop drinking. In fact, the drinking was even the major thing. I told God, I said, if and only if you bring me out of this pain. Ladies and gentlemen, it was not up to 10 seconds. My system was okay. Like, I was back to health. But it's okay to say that God always keeps his own part of the assignment. But what about you? Do you also keep your own part? From the next day, I told myself, I was like, if I keep staying, around these people, I would, fall for it again. So I would intentionally leave the room, and I'll go and stay with a friend of mine who happened to be my fellowship member at the time. By the time I'm coming back, some people would have slept off, so there will be no need to start answering questions on where I went to, days, for weeks, and for months. At some point, I became very, very bold to tell them to their faces that I am not going to be involved in this life anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, 2016 to 2023, God has been faithful, to be honest. It's been 7 years, and I've not taken alcohol till tomorrow. And trust me, it's not even about boasting. If I boast of God's faithfulness and God's goodness. This almost took my life. I don't know what your own story is like that made you to stop, but this is my own story. It is not a cliche. Now, after that, being intentional and everything, I decided I was going to know God more. Like, who speaks to a being that is not seen, but answers almost immediately? So I was very, very inquisitive to know who this God was, or who the person of the Holy Spirit was. And that was how I started my Christian journey. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody laid hands on me. I know for some people their case is different. Some people laid hands on you, and for some of you, I know that there was an altar call, and then you had to come outside to either rededicate your life or to give your life to Christ. But for me, it was a very, very life-threatening experience that happened to me that made me to give my life to God. I would like to know what your own story is. So kindly write in the comment section what it was like for you, what your first encounter with God actually looks like, and let me know. At first I was scared, but now I'm very, very bold, because that experience, no other person could have given it to me. Thank you so much for watching. Please anticipate more on my channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate. If this video blessed you, kindly click the subscribe button and give this video a very big thumbs up. And please do not forget to write in the comment section what your own experience is like. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye bye.